this gorgeous day. Here we are talking about the problem of overplanning. And this one is a huge one to me, basically because I hear so much from all these people in motivation saying, okay, you just got to make a plan, you got to stick to the plan, you got to plan, more plan, and if something fails, it's because you didn't plan it right. And people just kind of get this idea that they should have had this plan, stick to this plan, always have these perfect goals that they just know they're going to achieve and stuff like that. And the truth is, you're never going to have a perfect plan. You're never just going to have a plan that's just going to go perfectly. You can just stick to it every single time and it will always work. At least you're not naturally going to develop that on the first try unless you're extremely lucky, basically, okay? There are a lot of times when there are going to be things we plan that don't work out. And a lot of people then respond by over-planning. Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and they try to troubleshoot everything by just planning and planning and planning. So one thing that Dr. Wayne Dyer says that's a little bit unique here is a lot of people are always talking about goal setting. Set this goal, set this goal, set this goal. And he says he doesn't really set a bunch of future goals. He just knows that everything's kind of going to work out in the long run. And he just kind of has a plan for, he's going to continue to speak and write books and do this kind of stuff that makes him happy, makes him successful, all that kind of stuff. And he just has that notion that everything's going to work out. Now, goals are extremely good. Okay, I've done a video specifically on goal setting, how to build up a mind that's better at goal setting and all that kind of stuff. But on top of that, the fact is that goal setting is not everything, okay? You can't just achieve everything based on plans and goal setting. Because a lot of us fall into the problem of over-planning. If you've ever heard of obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, not obsessive-compulsive disorder, but obsessive-compulsive personality disorder, it's basically this perfectionist disorder. There's a story I was reading on it the other day for a psychology class, and it was an abnormal psych class, and it was all about this person that had this disorder. And they were somebody working in science, and they were working, 16, 17 hours a day, so barely getting enough sleep or basically no relaxation time. But they couldn't achieve the same result as somebody who was working 4 hours a day. Okay, and they would do this 7 days a week, and this person working 4 hours a day only did five days a week. Okay, but that person who did 4 hours a day was way more effective because what they were doing was not just planning. They were actually doing stuff. This other person needed to have the perfect plan, needed to write a 900-page thing for only having a 1-paragraph abstract so they could narrow it down. The obsessive-compulsive personality disorder person really has this problem of over-planning, of needing to be perfect and needing to have it be all so elaborate and needing plan. A lot of times we can really just go forward without a plan when we are a really positive person, okay? When you have positivity, you have this happiness and you're just giving away that kind of love, that kind of energy, it really just supercharges you and pushes you away from this really need to plan everything. Now, a lot of times people plan, as I've said, to hedge against negativity, okay? When something's going wrong, they think, I can just make the perfect plan and this will defeat my fear. I won't have to be fearful if I just do it all perfectly. If the roulette wheel just comes up 33 black every time, then I'm just gonna, win every time on 33 black and make a bunch of money and it's all just gonna work out. Problem is that outcome is basically impossible. Things are just not gonna go perfectly and we can't plan for everything to go perfectly. Instead, what you really want to do is have this sense of certainty in the long run and accept uncertainty in the short run. And I've done a lot of videos on this one already, but I think that this one is one of the best techniques you'll ever learn about how to deal with this problem. If you can accept that in the long run, everything will work out. Say, go back to a trading example I was thinking of earlier. Say you failed at all these times at trying to trade and trying to be successful at trading the stock market, let's say, okay? You may have failed, say, 20 times on designing systems, and you're designing the 21st one. You're like, okay, how can I make sure that this one wins if I've failed on all these previous ones? First off, let go of the past is a big component there. And second off, don't overplan it, okay? You naturally, when you program your mind to be positive, your subconscious mind's a genius. He has a lot of power. And when you program him to be very positive and loving, he's going to give you some useful ideas. They won't always be perfect because nothing's ever completely just perfect. Then, regardless of that, he'll give you good ideas. It's just to act on them, to have that sense of certainty soon enough. I don't know if it's going to be this strategy or the next one or whatever number it's going to be, but I'm going to stick by it because I know in the long run, I'm going to design one that works great, that I really love the results of, and everything's going to pan out well. My expectations are not going to be sky high, like I have to win every trade or something, but I want something to be profitable. And that's not always easy in the market of commissions and spread and stuff like that. But anyway, that's basically an example of how it would pan out. When you have that sense of certainty, you know, soon enough, I'm going to have a strategy that's really going to work out here. That's all going to work out, so I can accept that it doesn't have to work out every time in the short run. When you can really do that, you can solve the problem of overplanning. Now, you should do some planning, but I recommend instead doing like 2 things at a time. I have a video specifically on increasing efficiency by like this 2 things method, but I really think it's a wonderful method. If you just do 2 things at a time, you can slowly build to an achievement, and you don't feel like everything has to go perfectly. You're not like having your brain go crazy with all these things you have to do. And instead, you can kind of just do what you want to do, and naturally you'll achieve what you want to achieve. So you kind of want to go more with the flow than people think when they think overplanning. You don't want to overplan because that leads to a lot of fear. And you can avoid that if you don't like underplan. So like obviously have some goals in life, have some things you want to achieve, know what your passions are, but don't feel like it has to follow this perfect plan or everything has to go perfectly. Just kind of let go of that and instead go with the flow. Follow your passions, have some fun in life, and soon enough you will achieve what you want to. So plan the right amount, not the wrong amount. Definitely do not overplan, or that leads into a territory of fear and perfectionism. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I will see you guys next time with the next video. So stay tuned. I'll see you then.